so many fake miracles that like they are basically fake. When someone will tell you that he can touch a key, a padlock, it will open. Now people are using padlock to tie people's destinies. Who is still believing that thing in 2025? This is the technological age we are in now. Electronical itself, if we must tell ourselves the truth. But people still keep using this archaic, this mundane, anachronistic beliefs to fool the people. And if you notice, it has created this culture of laziness amongst our youth, and the enmity they are bringing. For instance, again, another instance was when he told one girl that her vertigo was as a result of the witchcraft from her mother-in-law. And this happens to be a popular woman in Onitsha and Umuchu. At the end of the day, the children stopped talking with her, speaking with their mother, that she's a witch. And he's not the only person doing it. There are so many of all these people. Not just Ebuka Obi. I'm letting not seem as if I'm targeting just him. If you check all my platforms, I've been calling out all manners of people, all these people that have been doing this for long. And it has pretty much become a culture in Nigeria. And when you start exposing it, they say you're attacking him. What do they mean by attack? It's not an attack. I'm just stating the obvious. So it's not as if it's peculiar to him. It's just the whole of them, including the native doctors, like I said. Okay. I received a message, text message, from one police officer from here in Abuja. I think it's zone 13, AIG headquarters, to come and answer that there is a petition written against me. They didn't say who. That was 19th of March, I believe, but it was written on the 18th of March, 2024. So I went, they told me to come on a Friday, knowing how some of all these policemen operate, especially when it seems as if they've been compromised by these people. You can make the case that they are compromised, judging by what later happened. I visited them 2 days before time. Then they started asking me questions, asking me if I knew Ebuka Obi, how I knew him. They gave me questions against some questions against the advice of the two lawyers present there. I answered them. The IPO, the OC, all of them. Then one of them came and told me that this is not necessary, that I need to settle with these people. Their normal way of doing things. Then the one that later became the prosecutor in the case came and asked me if I want to speak with him. Because I said, why will I speak with him? Then they took me to the OC. The OC tried his best. I told him that he said that they don't want to waste anybody's time. I told them, you've wasted my time by inviting me here in the first place. What's the meaning of all this? This is not a petition. There is nothing in here. Then they brought, I saw one girl. That girl used to work with the Peter Obi campaign. I laughed. I said, oh, they brought this one too. Then they brought videos and asked me who said this. And those are my videos, but they've deceptively edited them to make it look as if I was saying something. I told them to take it to court if they actually believe this is true. Just there and then, my friends that came to see me at the police station, they told them to go, that they will release me. Next thing they just seized all of my properties. They did not let me call my family, call anybody. They just pushed me into the cell after telling the lawyers to go. And I later found out that some of my friends came to look for me. They told them that they've allowed me to go. The next day, in the morning, they took me to court, this magistrate court at Wuse, zone, I think it's zone 2, very close to the police station. Zone 2 or zone 6, I don't know what they call it, but it's the chief magistrate court where Chief Magistrate Iyana sits. But we did not go to his court room that day. They took me into one dusty room, and when you look at it, at the room, you look around, you find out that it's too dusty to have been for that place to have been occupied even in the last 1 week. The dust was too much. I was asking them what they brought me here for. Where is the magistrate that they brought? And you said it's a cyber crime issue. Why not go to the Federal High Court? Because it's under the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court. They didn't. Next thing, around past 4, one Saudana that works at the Kefi Old Prison brought a remand order that I will be remanded in P42 without seeing a lawyer, without seeing a judge or a magistrate. And that was how everything started. We started going to court, and thankfully, Barrister Ijele and his firm stepped in. By then, I've called my brother Moile Showore, told him what was happening. And this now happens to be the next day, because the full day they did not allow me contact anyone. It was when we were on our way to the Kefi prison. That was the first time they would allow me to use my phone. I told him this is what's going on. Then we started. The chief magistrate, Yana, the same guy they used for the Abraham Daniel case, you know, this Daniel Eneche, Pastor Paul Eneche, the case. The same guy. So you may have to ask why he's always him. At the end of the day, the man was playing up and down. Some days he would not come. The other time we came for hearing, a small noise outside, he left the court that he is feeling threatened. You know, everything was becoming too obvious. After 4 weeks, he struck out the case for lack of jurisdiction and refused to issue a release order. The same day, they went to another court within the same compound and brought another remand order from one Chioma Amawachi, and we went to her page, saw that she was following an IPOB platform. Then everything began to be clear. She is still there at the Use court, Chioma from Ala Igbo. And she can't deny that's her Facebook page. When she graduated law school, everything was there. She celebrated it on the page. And I'm sure she didn't know we have all these files. If she likes, she can go delete them. We can use the Wayback Machine and bring anything back. And in our case, on one court date, she did not come. She said she didn't have fuel. According to what the people that went to court, the news the people that went to court brought, I didn't go. After another 4 weeks, she discharged the case, struck it out again for lack of jurisdiction. But by then, Barrister Deji has filed a fundamental human rights case at the Federal High Court. We were given May 26th for the case to come up. But before then, brother to Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Obiora Ejiofor, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ejiofor, his own brother Obiora, now went to Lagos and initiated another legal process under Justice Aluko. And they gave him, imagine we applied. We were given 26th of May. They applied, I think it was 9th May, and they got 10th or 8th and got 9th. By the time they came to the Kefi prison to take me, and everything under the law has elapsed. The in charge there was not around. It was the two IC that later signed the document, then disappeared. They took me before we got to the airport. The last flight to Lagos has left. They took me to one police station very close to the airport and left me in handcuff in the cell. Told those people not to release the handcuff, that I'm a dangerous criminal. I was in handcuff. The person that did that thing, his name is Ejike Abia, another Igbo man, was the one they used. Then we went to Lagos. On getting to Lagos, it was rainy that day. The court did not sit. They had to take me to the Zone 2 police station. Then got a remand this thing from the court. They said they should be remanded with the police. They kept me at Zone 2. After 1 week plus, we went to court, and that was I was remanded at the Ikoyi prison. We went to we started going to court, and thankfully Chief Femi Falana and his wife, Chief Mrs. Fumi Falana, both senior advocates of Nigeria, they represented me pro bono. I didn't have to pay a dime, and my brother Moile Showore was there. We went to the court. We applied for bail. They gave us another date for bail hearing. We went for the bail hearing. They gave us a very stringent bail condition, 50 million naira bail sum, level 14 civil servants, landed property, on a case that they've wasted 56 to 58 days on, plus the police detention. I didn't say anything. We started the act of perfecting the bail. While trying to perfect the bail, from nowhere I fell ill. Both of my kidneys failed. And before then, Ebuka Obi himself was on air saying that he will have organ damage, not me. Then how he happened to know that thing, I don't know. I have no idea. Seriously, he has to answer some questions. In a very sane society, they need to investigate that, because prior to that moment, I was in the hospital. I still have my medical records then. I did all manner of tests. They tested everything. I was perfectly okay. But all of a sudden, they said 2 of my kidneys failed. But kidneys don't fail that way. Kidneys don't fail that way. So whatever happened, I'm still trying to ascertain how we got to that. Then I had to leave the bail issue, started taking care of myself. And while I was at the hospital, After 1 month plus, we started the bail issue, finished it in August 2024. The same day I was supposed to go, they brought another production warrant that is from Oka. They opened another case, May, either 6th or 5th, while I was already in Lagos. And before that, their broadcasters have been on social media saying that they will bring their father to Oka and kill him. Of course, I know that since it has involved the IPOB people, they are certainly going to use their ESN criminals. That was when I started making certain calls. And Chief Femi Falana did everything he could. The former Attorney General of the Federation did not act on it. And we later heard from certain quarters that they were telling people at the presidency, everywhere, that I was a human trafficker, I was an IPOB member, and all those things happened to be the same lies Nnamdi Kanu sold to the people when I started exposing his IPOB as a fraudulent business, of which it is. Registered as a private business and fooling the people with it. The same thing. Mind you, the prosecutor, Obi Orejofo, is brother to Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. And all those politicians that are working there are the same names I was hearing here. At the end of the day, they tried everything. I even heard they called the interior minister to force the in charge to take me to Oka, which never materialized. At the end of the day, the new Attorney General of the Federation was so gracious enough to listen to us. You know, we wrote, the DPP took over the case from the police. The DPP took over the case from the police, I think it was October, towards the end of October 2024. The police did not hand over the files until towards the end of January 2025. So what's their interest? And it happens to be the Anambra State Police Command, where I have pending issues with some of the policemen there. And I can tell you categorically clear, that place is a cesspit. It's been infiltrated. They need to clear out the entire Anambra State Police Command. I know people that are my enemies over there, especially after I exposed their oil, illegal oil. 1 minute, illegal oil they are drilling. So there is more than one reason for them to want me in Oka. Thankfully, at the end of the day, we were able to bring the case to Lagos, and my bail under the first court sufficed for the second one. That was how I was freed, contrary to all the bullshit they are selling to people online.